High Point's the big center for the furniture market, and that happens twice a year. So a huge amount of what I do is spent just literally preparing for that market that lasts for 1 week, twice a year. We'll go to fabric shows in a couple of weeks, start the selection process of fabrics. They'll have picked our paint colors, and if it's a brand new piece, we have to work it out. What we put on the showroom floor is exactly what goes out of our back door every day out of the factory. We'll do this and we'll do that, and we'll have the big show in October. Julie and Joni are designers that are customers of ours, and they have each done collections for us using their knowledge and experience in life and what have you as interior designers.
Joni has a really eclectic style. What I think she does well is mixing old components with the new. She really likes to bring the past into her designs. I think she's influenced very much by Europe and her experiences there. She
had a scrapbook, and she started going through this scrapbook, and she had in that scrapbook all sorts of things that she wanted to be able to get but was having trouble getting because they were a little too edgy, or something from Europe, or it was this or it was that, the other. Well, I'm looking at this scrapbook. She hadn't gotten into it 10 pages. I said, Joni, is there any way that you'd be willing to let us make this? She said, well, why do you think I'm showing it to you? I'm like, well, let's go.
Her husband, it's a funny story, walked in and he had it on a pinstripe or seersucker suit, had on his bucks, and she said, what a timeless look. I love that. Hence, that inspired her fabric choices for this collection. Joni does really take ownership of this line and does all of the sketching and the conceptualization for the new pieces. It's typically on her travels, she'll be inspired by a wall detail or a tile on the floor.
Joni is dynamic, literally all over the world. Joni does projects, and she just was recently named the Southeast Designer of the Year.
She's not afraid to use color. She's been in the business for over 25 years, and if you look through our portfolio over the test of time, she's always incorporated a really bold use of color. No matter what, there's always a whimsical element, something that's unexpected, that when the person that sees her designs, they walk away and they remember that point and say, how did she come up with that? So when you tour the J. Banks collection, you can't pinpoint one specific style. They could be utilized in a traditional setting, a contemporary setting. It's really infusing numerous design looks to create something that's truly authentic.
Julie is from Indianapolis. She has a great affection for the equestrian world. Very well received. Just a incredibly, genuinely nice, caring person, and that's what I love.
I've had a long relationship with Stanford, and I'm one of those people that always wanted to give my client something special, and I would always ask Randy to tweak something or add something or do something unique. And then I used to always say to him and Tim, my rep, when are you going to make the Julie chair? Can we make the Julie chair? And I used to just ask that all the time.
I said, Julie, why don't you just come to High Point and I'll introduce you to Randy. He's met you before, but just put you in touch with him and bring some ideas with you and talk to him there.
He walked me back to the back area where the fireplace is, and he said to me, this is your area, Julie. And I said, what do you mean? And I didn't, even at that point, it didn't even hit me. And then he said, no, this is your area. And I by the time he came to see me that August, I had 80 pieces.
What she does tends to be, it has kind of a feminine line to it, leans towards traditional, but is very eclectic in nature.
I love an eclectic mix of things. I love art, I love flea market finds. I tend to encourage people to keep the things that their family have given them and mix in new comfortable pieces, so that with the importance of your family and your friends and your background. And if you can scale things around and create that environment, then I think that defines us as people.
The cliche is the only thing constant is change. You are constantly adapting to new styles and trends.
Designers tend to want to not just buy something as they see it. They want to tweak it. They want to change the cushion. They want to change the length. They want to do something to make it their own.
We're small enough to handle anything, but yet we're big enough also to handle it. But we still give that personal service.
Lots of companies don't offer that, and we are becoming more and more and more of a custom house.
He has that manufacturing side, we have the design side. You meld them together and it turns into this beautiful custom furniture that our clients love. We're able to give an authentic product to our clients, which is truly only for them. It's been a great process.
The market itself is really my most fun thing because I've done my part then. Then I can spend that week just meeting the folks that have been our customers for so many years.
You'll never meet anybody who has more fun doing anything that he does.
It's a business atmosphere, but to a huge degree it's a party atmosphere as well. I don't think it's the furniture as such. I think it's all just a culture. I think it goes back to what we were talking about early on. I mean, it's this whole idea of it's being of a family atmosphere or whatever. We have a number of people that come to our showroom and it's sort of their hangout. It's sort of their home base. This guy named David Fine, who is our Ohio rep now, who just started with us a couple of years ago, and he's been sort of testing us to see how we are and what have you. He came up to me this market. He said, Randy, he said, I've been in this business. I've been a sales rep for 30 years. He said, I've never, ever represented a company that I enjoy more than Stanford. Well, that was a huge compliment to me. I appreciated that very much. He's represented a lot of different companies.
The great thing about working with Stanford and Randy in particular is now that I've worked here and had other lines, working for Randy's more like working with family.
It is Randy Short, and it's all about relationships.
I think another thing about our relationship with Stanford is the integrity of the company. We're trying to get the word out that we found something that we are very comfortable with, because all somebody has to do is sit on a piece of Stanford furniture and they're sold. It's a different product than some of the things that are out there.
I realized that last October was my 80th one of these events, so I just went through my 81st, so I'm now getting ready for my 82nd, so kind of got it down.